Hey guys, it's Tom Bucks. You're welcome to MST.TV, and I've got a proxy deck profile for you guys today. It's going to be the one that you guys have requested. It's going to be Invoked Thunder Dragon. Of course, this is requested from the previous video of Thunder Dragons 101. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. I go through Thunder Dragons quite in depth, and it basically goes over every single card. Now, for this is the build that I've been playing online a lot. I mean, holy crap, I've been playing this so much. It is really dumb of what this deck can do, especially when it goes first or second. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because going second you have the OTK, going first you can stun them down pretty badly, and I will show you those combos. Of course, this video is brought to you by the Patreons. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and of course, huge shout outs to Ace for helping me get these images of these Thunder Dragons so I can make these proxies. These proxies are available for you guys. Check out the Discord link, go to the download section. You guys can print out your own sheets. Do I have some extras on hand right here? Yeah, I went to Staples to get these printed out, and they turned out pretty nice. These are some of these proxies. Oh my god, proxies. You guys can test it out. I think if you were going to go to our regionals around that time, I highly recommend this deck. I believe this is a high tier deck in my opinion. And well, without further ado, I'll go into the deck profile. This is my build. You guys can use it as a foundation if you don't know how to mix and match the two decks together. Well, I'm just here to give you that kind of support. Okay, to kick things off with the main deck, I'm going to show you guys, I guess, starting off with two Alistairs. I had a third one in here. I realized that the third one was a bit unnecessary because you have many ways to actually get to the Alistair. It is the best if you can actually get to the Alistair, but even if you can't, just remember Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. As long as you're successfully able to fusion summon, you can fetch Invocation. And this card also works with your Thunder Dragon fusions because you can actually boost their attack, and that's why it's so easy to push for the OTK. First or second, basically the same board, and in fact it's almost the same combo if you really want to push. Why am I having success with this deck? Is because you're able to use Super Bolt on the board to stop all the search cards. So in other words, most of the stuff you need to negate, they're gone. They're not even there anymore. So your opponent's combo pieces are basically out the window. And then when it comes to stopping everything else, there's Mechaba. Mechaba can stop everything else. So you can stop about 2/3 of your opponent's hand just from like setting up the initial board, which I will show you guys. But Alistair, since it's searchable, I just play 2 ofs. In terms of hand trap, this is the only hand trap I'm running because the deck is super tight and I just want the best one. I'm going to put Drone Lockbird. I know a lot of people have kind of switched out Drone Lockbird, but I still favor this card because it's good against Trickstar. In fact, Trickstar should never be an issue if you have this card. Trickstars have a huge problem getting out of this card because, well, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effect for the most cases. So what are they going to do about it? So they can't really go into Terraforming, into Candina, into Light Stage. You shut down like 9 cards out of the deck, which is, I would say, pretty devastating. So Drone Lockbird's pretty awesome for shutting down your opponent when they go first, and it's also win, so you can go into Raijin. I am still playing a copy of Raijin because it's just the attribute, and I like booking stuff to stop link plays. Now let's go into the Thunder Dragon. That's it for the that's it for the Invoke side actually, and for the level 6s, I have Beast. I play 2 of. I would like to play 3 of. If you're playing a pure Thunder Dragon build, make sure that you play 3 of this card because this card is probably one of the best cards to get banished. Most of the dark Thunder Dragons, you want them to get banished because if they get banished, they usually have a more flexible effect that's definitely going to have more impact than the one that you just used to ditch it to the graveyard. That's a fact. I just realized that. As for the light ones are the one that you want to ditch from hand because they have a better effect when they ditch from hand. As for this one, you ditch it, you get to retrieve a card from the graveyard. Not that great, but when this card gets banished, you get to special summon a Thunder monster from the deck, and that is basically Graph, and it's so flexible. That's why you want to get this one banished or send from field to graveyard. And of course, the protection effect of the Super Bolt and the Thunder Dragon Lord will also proc the effect as well as using Invocation. Think about it, but I can't really use Invocation on these guys because I don't run the Dark Dude, although it kind of makes me want to try it out. So I also have The Avian Thunder Dragon, this is pretty awesome for reviving stuff out of the graveyard if you have your graveyard already set up. This might be the one card to actually get you the additional special summon, because your main normal summon is going to be the Alistair. So just remember that, because a deck that has too many normal summons usually doesn't work out very well, so you need to waste a special summon out a Thunder monster so you can get into your fusion. Avian is one of those options. There are other options to get there, but Avian is probably the easier one, and it's just mainly these two that kind of let you get there. And if you do get this card banished or sent to the field, to the graveyard, you get to Magical Mallet. You get to shuffle cards back from your hand and then draw the same amount. Now, in terms of some of the 3-ofs, I'm running 3 of the Thunder Dragon Origin or Origin Thunder Dragon. This is the 500 boost on a Thunder monster if you ditch it from hand. It's a quick effect as well, so that's pretty neat. Now, on top of that, this is a level 1, so you can go to Linkaribo with this, and sometimes if you have a paired off with this, if you don't open with your Invoke side, opening this isn't too bad, I suppose. As long as you're able to get one effect off, then it's fine. Usually what it goes is you summon this card, you ditch it into Linkaribo, then you ditch Avian to revive it. Now you've activated a card effect so that now you can go into a Super Bolt. So that's kind of how a basic bad hand combo would work, and your opponent's still locked out of searching, so it really slows the game down, which I really like. Why is this a 3-of? Because if this card is sent from field to graveyard or banished, it fetches itself, and it's a hand trap, so that's why I don't mind it. Another card that you have to run 3 of is Bolt Thunder Dragon. If anything, if this card is banished, fetches you any Thunder Dragon card. That's amazing. Like, there is no way of getting a dead hand if you have this thing, unless of course you can't banish it, which is fine, but if you ditch it, you get to search another copy of Bolt Thunder Dragon. Only one copy, so just remember that. And don't forget, all the Thunder Dragon cards that you can ditch from hand, they are hard once per turn for only one effect. So you can only use one effect per turn. So if you already use the search effect, you can't use the banish to get additional search. So yeah, just remember that. But this is probably the best card, because if you do banish them from the graveyard, whether it be with Invocation, whether it be from like the protection effect of Super Bolt or protection effect for the Thunder Dragon Lord, they will activate and you will be able to get massive card advantage. And I am running triple Thunder Dragon in the deck for the namesake of Thunder Dragon, because without Thunder Dragon, you can't use Thunder Dragon Fusion to summon out these guys. And sometimes Thunder Dragon Fusion is the only way for you. If you are too committed to the Invoke side, Thunder Dragon Fusion will let you bring out the Super Bolt or the Thunder Dragon Lord that you can't put onto the other side of the link pointers that I'll show you in the combo. So in terms of spell cards, Thunder Dragon Fusion, this card's amazing. In the graveyard, fetches you any Thunder, I think Thunder monster? Yeah, any Thunder monster out of the deck. So I guess you get Avian if you want to revive stuff. You get Super Bowl if you can banish it. It's just a well-run, flexible card, and it summons using the materials from the banished pile or the graveyard, shuffling them back in, recycling your resources. This card's just really good, especially if you open pretty dead. If you can toss it into the graveyard, it's actually not that bad. You can also use the pay cost for like Twin Twisters and stuff like that. A must play 3 of Gold Sark, because of course you use this card and you immediately get the effect of the Beast, or if you really want to fetch a search of like Thunder Dragon Fusion or something like that, then you can go for the Super Bolt. Not recommended for Super Bolt. I rather just go for the Beast, because Beast can summon out the Bolt, and then you can send Bolt to the graveyard for like link materials or something like that, and then you can fetch any card you want, and then Bolt's in the graveyard. So that's it for the Thunder Dragon spell side. In terms of this other side, for the, I guess, the Invoked, I am running triple engage for the Sky Striker. You don't have to run this. I know some of you guys are like, oh my god, you're making the deck so expensive, why do you have to splash this card and everything? I'm just gonna be straight with you. It's mainly to search out this. If you don't have Engage, I still recommend you to run triple Hornet Drones, just because if you're playing Invoked, you should be playing Hornet Drones just because it can immediately give you access to the Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. This is just additional pluses. If this card gets hit, or if these cards get hit, there are ways to replace it so that you can play more of a Thunder Dragon side, or you can play even a larger Invoked engine to kind of replace it. But right now, this is what I have triple Engage, because it just gives me pluses, and it's pretty nice to have more cards when you have Mechaba, and you can negate stuff with Mechaba with it. Then I'm only playing 2 drones. I want to play a 3rd drone. I might cut this card. This card is I'm seriously considering cutting this card, because the only reason why I haven't cut it is because out of the 5 matches I've played, I have used this card to steal my opponent's monster, and then I gamed him with it. That's the only reason why this card is still here. Or else, otherwise, I just play triple Hornet Drones instead, because Hornet Drones is just to make, they're just too essential. Oh, in terms of the Invoke stuff, of course, there is going to be double terraforming because we are going into searching Alistair through the Magical Meltdown. Just a pair of Magical Meltdown. I want to keep this deck pretty tight. Of course, you can cut these Twin Twisters if you want to fit stuff in. And in terms of the spell lineup, you guys convinced me already. It's going to be Book of the Law. Book of the Law is just mandatory. I just realized you can't have... The cheapest way to kill your opponent is through Book of the Law. People just don't expect it. Once they see Thunder Dragon or they see like, what's his face? Purgatrio, they think like, oh, I'm done all the attacks, and all of a sudden you throw another 25 in their face and they just kind of lose. But double Invocation and 1 Book of the Law. And that kind of sums up for the spell. And in terms of the remaining spells, I have a pair of Call by the Grave. You guys, you guys are probably like, oh my god, why are your ratio so high? Why are there so many 2-ofs? Because you thin out your deck so fast anyway, you're gonna see a lot of your 2-ofs. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I've thinned out my deck down to 14 cards in many of these games. Because the Thunder Dragon stuff, they just kind of toss themselves out anyway. So, a pair of Call by the Grave because I don't want to get hit by Droll. Mainly just Droll because everything else, it doesn't really matter. Oh, but it does hurt if they ash your Alistair the Invoker. Let's just say that. It does hurt when they hit that. Or it also hurts when they try to ash your Beast when it activates. That also sucks. And I'm running a pair of Twin Twisters. If Twin Twisters can be swapped out for anything, I am just enjoying Twin Twister because there are some significant weaknesses that I can just tell you about right now. It's Skill Drain, or if you're going to be playing against True Dracos, if they have their thing face up, whatever it's called, the Monarch's Eruption or whatever, if they have that up, you're going to have a really bad time because they're going to grind you until you deck out, or they just manage to beat you over because their stuff is quite strong and you can't use the protection effect of Super Bolt, and also you cannot use the protection effect of Thunder Dragon Lord, and that really sucks because we all know that True Dracos, they're all capable of popping a ton of cards. So that's some of the weaknesses. I'll talk about some of the weaknesses next time in a different video and how to counter this particular deck. Okay, in terms of extra deck, I'm playing a pair of Super Bolt because this is your one-sided Thunder King that is protected from battle and card effect, which is, I think, pretty disgusting since it's a continuous effect where you can just banish, I believe, a Thunder monster from the graveyard instead. It's pretty nasty when you put someone on a one-sided mistake. One of the biggest weaknesses of this card is if it gets mind controlled. That sucks the worst because if your opponent uses Borreload and steals this guy, yeah, it's that's not gonna be very helpful in your next turn because you're gonna be stuck. Okay, but this is one of your key opening plays, and I will show you guys in the combo in a bit after we go through the extra deck. But this is your main play. How do you summon it? You toss a card into the graveyard using a Thunder Dragon effect, and then you have a Thunder monster on the field, then you can just summon it out. Or you can use a Thunder Dragon Fusion to summon him out. Oh, one thing to note is that Invocation can actually summon this out. Invocation doesn't have to summon out invoked monsters. It can actually summon out any fusion monster, but then you can't banish from the graveyard for those monsters. But if it's for an Invoke Fusion, then you can use it to banish stuff out of the graveyard. That's the thing. So if you want to toss a ton of guys into the graveyard, the cards must be in your hand. So you can use Invocation. If you have a handful of Thunder Dragons and you have some way of, I guess, abusing it, you can actually toss them all into the graveyard. And then if you can protect your, say, your Super Bolt, then you can start banishing to regain your pluses. That's just an option. Don't forget about it because it has come up a couple times. So aside from the 2 Super Bolts, I also have the 2 Thunder Dragon Lord. Of course, this is your popper. He's your machine gun. He's almost like an Insector Hornet, where every single time you activate a Thunder monster from your hand, you get to pop a card on the field. And it's non-targeting, however, like Paleo, it needs a chain on top. This one's only protected from card effects, and you can banish 2 of any cards to actually protect itself from being destroyed as a replacement. So, Kagebunshin, my friends. Now, in terms of the Invoke stuff, a pair of Mechaba, because Mechaba is just really good. Right now, I'm debating on Purgatrio or Purgatrio Raging. Raging just, it hasn't come up as much, but I like that I can actually force this monster out if I go into Hayate. Hayate just gives me a quick access to Raijin, and if I really need to book something. But if I have Hayate, I might sometimes go for just a punch. But it could just be double Purgatrio in my opinion. Or you can even run the dark one so that you can actually have a dark banish target. But remember, if you have that dark invoked monster, it starts to limit you on your own plays as well. In terms of everything else, we have at 1 Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. If this guy dies, it honestly doesn't really matter. Not gonna lie, it's just whatever if he dies. You can usually make some other plays, usually, because you still have Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh can still open a play for you. It's mainly for the Thunder Dragon Origin. Kagari, and Hayate. I don't run Shizuku. In fact, if you're playing the Invoked Sky Striker, it should be 3, 2, 1. That's my opinion, because I just realized how fast you just toss things into the graveyard anyway. But that's my lineup here, because this is going to be the first one. And if I really want to go like this, I can. I don't recommend it. But if you're just gonna push for 3,000 damage, of course this is still the option here. And Kagari can sometimes fetch back that engage to give you that extra double draw to fetch more material if you're falling behind. You shouldn't fall behind, but sometimes you just need the extra resource if your opponent's pretty good. I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix. You just need the utility to pop some back row sometimes, especially anti-spell fragrance. This has killed so many anti-spell fragrances for me in Macrocosmos. Although Macrocosmos, I don't care as much with the Thunder Dragon in there, but I don't want to see all my invocations banished, and that's why I have to run Nightmare Phoenix. And the last monster in the extra deck is Wii Witch's Apprentice. I'm choosing Wii for now, although you could probably use a more generic monster if you're going to be putting out light monsters. The reason why I'm using Wii is because Alistair is dark and Bolt Thunder Dragon is also dark, so you can use that to make Wii Witch's Apprentice, which buffs up your anti-searcher of Super Bolt Thunder Dragon. It's gonna be in the next combo that I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, so it's combo time. Remember the deck list that I showed you guys earlier, that's just my take on it. You guys can change up what you want. If you guys have any kind of suggestions to change it up, you might be noticing why I'm not running Solar Battery Man. It's mainly because it is a normal summon, and with the Invoked engine, it is not as necessary. In a pure variant, I absolutely recommend maining like 1 or 2 of them for sure, maybe even 3, just because it sets up your Avian and your Beast so quickly. It's just worth doing right away. It's like an Armageddon Knight for opening like a dark play. So anyways, let's get into this particular combo. The combo really just revolves around, I guess, having Alistair, so whether it be opening with a Terraforming Meltdown or Alistair, with Goldsark being your best one of, or you can have a mix of some of these in your hand. As long as you have a good mix, you usually are able to either use a Thunder Dragon Fusion to bring something out, or if you have Avian, which is even better, Avian will let you special summon something you already tossed into the graveyard. So if you have Bolt and Avian, you get kind of the same result. It's just that you have to do workarounds to get there. In terms of hand resources, if I want to bust this, I would add Engage in here as well. Then it would be absolutely busted. If you have Terraforming Goldsark and Engage, you have the most busted hand possible. I might even try that out at the next combo. For now, but say I have the shortest combo of them all, Invoked and Gold Sark. So I don't have the Sky Striker stuff, so let's just avoid showcasing that stuff. But the first combo is just going to be the basic opening. Luckily, because you have to manipulate dark monsters with this one, it's different depending on what you have in your hand. If you have other ways of actually putting up a light monster onto the field, then the combo changes. But let's start this one off. Summoning out Alistair. Alistair will now fetch the Invocation. Okay. This is pretty basic. In other words, you technically still have 3 other cards in your hand. So you have the Invocation now, and I activate Gold Sark. Gold Sark, you throw away the Beast to summon out the Bolt. Seems pretty normal right here so far. Now, because these are both dark, you can't go into Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. Instead, you link these off, and you go into Witch's Apprentice. So in other words, you can still get the effect of Bolt Thunder Dragon off. Bolt Thunder Dragon now can add the Avian Thunder Dragon. Activate Avian Thunder Dragon, summon out the Bolt again. And this time, because you activated Avian, you can just link this one off. Or sorry, not link this one up, but tribute it to summon out Super Bolt. And this is a buffed up Super Bolt. And then now you can play Invocation, banishing the Alistair and the Avian. And now you can summon out Mechaba. This Mechaba, however, is weakened by this Witch's Apprentice. However, that still gives you a form of negation regardless. If dies, then you can actually fetch out some of your stuff in the graveyard. In other words, she'll still be beneficial. She is 19 beat stick. And on top of that, you can use Invocation's effect to add back the Alistair. So this way, you still have 3 cards in your hand, and you have search suppression, and you have negation, and that's how this board works. And yeah, that's the basic opening. That's the standard opening that you can do. You don't have to use Witch's Apprentice. It's just convenient. You can use the that light generic link monster if you want to. The Cyberse guy that has the 2 arrows pointing down from the structure deck. That's also an option if you don't want to use Witches. But if you have like a Sky Striker token available, then this whole play changes. Then you will have access to Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. Okay, time for the sackiest hand possible. You got Call But the Graves for hand traps. You've got Gold Sark to get yourself the Thunder engine. You have Terraforming for the Invoked engine. And you have Engage for the, I guess, the Hornet drones. Cool, let's get this thing started. You have to play this one in a particular sequence, or else you're going to trip yourself over with the Engage. Starting off with Terraforming. We're going to go Terraforming, and we're going to search ourselves the Magical Meltdown. Once the search finishes, it goes to Grave. This goes here. Now we're going to activate the Magical Meltdown now, and we're going to add ourselves the Invoker. So Alistair the Invoker has been added to hand. Don't summon this just yet. Don't activate Gold Sark. You need to be able to get this one to go off. So you're going to go with Engage, and Engage is going to fetch the Hornet drones. So now that we have Hornet drones, we activate Hornet drones, and we summon out our friend token right here. Oh man, 3 spells in the graveyard already? Well, that's the thing, is it's going to get refetched. We're going to go ahead and link it off into Kagari. Kagari's effect will activate. We're going to add back that Engage. Okay, so Engage has been added back. Now, do we activate it right away? No. Now we go into the Gold Sark side. So we go into Gold Sark, and we're going to go ahead and banish ourselves the Bestial Thunder Dragon. Bestial Thunder Dragon will activate. And we're going to summon out Bolt Thunder Dragon. And with Bolt Thunder Dragon on the field, we can now proceed to link it off. We have a Dark Thunder versus a Fire Machine that meets the requirements of Alistair the Invoker of Madness, of different types, different attributes. Okay. That being said, that's taken care of. The Bolt Thunder Dragon will now activate, and I'm going to be able to search the Avian. Cool. Everything seems so free now. I haven't even normal summoned yet. At this point, if you're going second or whatnot, and your opponent has a monster, you can go into Engage now. Now that there are 3 spells in the grave, you can fetch yourself, well, I guess I have to search out this one now, the Widow Anchor. Wherever the Widow Anchor is. If you don't need the Widow Anchor, then instead you can go for another Hornet Drones. But for this case, I am going to go with the Widow Anchor. Going to shuffle up, and then I'm just going to draw a random card that is hopefully not Book of the Law. If it's Book of the Law, well, I got another Engage, which is pretty busted. But let's just say this is not Engage. We're going to flip it face down. as a dud. Okay, because if I kept going, yeah, this is just another plus right now. My hand will just constantly overload. And at this point, we're just going to continue with the combo here. This is not going to be used. You can use this as ditching fodder if you want. But at this point, I want to revive that Bolt Thunder Dragon. So I'm going to activate Avian. I'm going to discard it. And then I'm going to special summon out the Bolt Thunder Dragon. And because I activated a Thunder monster, I can now go into tributing this monster into summoning out my Super Bolt. And there we go. Now we have Searching suppressed, and we have Survivability. And of course, I have a Thunder monster to protect it. That's, you know, all in good. I guess it's really just really good for me right now. Now I can normal summon out that Alistair, the Invoker, and this will search me the Invocation. Let's find that Invocation. And there it is. So now that I have the Invocation, I'm going to now activate Invocation. I'm going to banish out the Avian and the Alistair. Again, basically, this is the repeat of the first combo where I go into Megaba with a Thunder Dragon. Except that the difference this time is that I have a much better hand. Of course, Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, will now activate. Say I were to ditch that card, I didn't see what it was before. And then now I add Book of the Law. I'm not done yet. I'm going to use the Invocations effect, put this back into the deck, and add this back to my hand. So now I can negate monster effects as well. So now I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards total in my control. So that's a pretty nasty combo. Of course, if I did use Engage, just imagine that I still have one additional card here. So I would have 6 cards with a huge amount of pressure against my opponent. And you don't always have to open this way, but this is the opening play, I would say a standard opening play against most of my opponents. And that kind of covers it all for this particular deck profile. Unless, of course, the ban list changes, I'm not going to do an update on this. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. In terms of weaknesses, number one weakness is this card getting stolen. That is one of the worst. If your opponent has Scapegoat, you have to negate it because Scapegoat going into a board load, it is very, very devastating. Hopefully you can stop it. But aside from that, that's hopefully you can use a Widow Anchor for that particular card. But that's one of the weaknesses, which is a Borload Dragon. Second thing is, if they summon out a Thunder King, that stops so many searches. It is a bit of a problem, not gonna lie, because that Thunder King can negate the summon of the Super Bowl, even if you do have access to say Gold Sark into one of your fusion monsters. It's going to be negated. There's just various areas. Oh, if your typing changes, that's a problem. If your typing changes, you can't go into Alistair the Invoker anymore because it requires monsters of different type, and that's a problem. If your attribute changes, that's also going to screw you up over the Alistair, and that's overall it's just going to mess you up when it comes to summoning out the Thunder stuff because you need Thunder monsters for a lot of these. But sometimes you just need a Thunder Dragon monster, which is okay because it doesn't care about the typing. But there's a lot of areas. Negation, monster effect negation, skill drain, that is a huge problem as well. Anyways, that's all I got for this deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check out the proxies if you guys want to try it out, because I don't think you guys want to lose to this deck, because being suppressed of all your searches, even Gokis don't enjoy that because they're not getting searches anymore. You put this on the board, they have to kill it first, or else they're not getting their combo off, which was hilarious. I've seen someone go into it, is sold, hoping to actually get their Goki effects off, and then nothing procced, and then it was a bit of a waste of resources because they have to go into what was it? It had to be Unicorn to spin this one back, and then by that time they're so short on resources that they can't fight you very well unless they already had a rematch in hand or a soul charge. Soul charge is gonna be a bit of a different story. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed it, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit that subscribe button. I'm actually going away this weekend, so maybe I'll see you guys somewhere in Europe. Maybe not. But anyways, until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV. And thank you, Patreon, so much for suggesting this. Huge shout outs to Ace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.